Edwards are against the ongoing genocide in Darfur, but they were surprised that they have invested in firms doing business in Sudan, either directly or through mutual funds. Edwards is promising to sell those Sudan-related holdings. Giuliani, meantime, is evaluating the situation. So, how about you? How can you tell whether you own any Sudan-related stock? Sam Bell is with the Genocide Intervention Network and with AskTheCandidates.org. Welcome to you, Sam.
Thank you, Melissa.
It seems like the candidates, if they're going to go out, if they're running for president, they're going to talk about this genocide, talk about how they are against this genocide, that they should have figured this out before.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled that Senator Edwards and Mayor Giuliani have now indicated that they're going to join Senators Brownback and Obama in divesting their personal holdings in companies that are facilitating genocide in Sudan. And before I talk about what companies those include and how divestment works, I want to just give a quick point about the significance behind this, because yesterday the Chinese foreign minister said that the noise being generated in the United States about the situation in Darfur is the product of a handful of individuals. Now, that is just flat out wrong. 12 states have already divested. Over 45 universities have restricted their holdings, and thousands of individuals are going to our website to see how they can screen their mutual funds for companies that are helping to fund this genocide.
This certainly does seem to be a growing wave of momentum here. But what should people think about when they're thinking about whether or not they're invested? Because Sudan obviously gets a lot of its revenues from oil. So are most of these companies oil-related companies?
They are mostly oil-related companies. And now we've identified a core set of about 24 companies that are doing business in Sudan and that are helping, whose revenues are overwhelmingly helping the government of Sudan at the expense of marginalized populations in Sudan. So we're looking at a core set of about 24 companies out of the 500 or so that are investing in Sudan.
Okay, so let's talk through some of the names. And we're showing right now Schlumberger, which is, by the way, of course, in the S&P 500. So folks out there who are invested in an index fund, you are also invested in Schlumberger, and therefore this company, because it's invested in Sudan, you have some sort of link there.
Right. And I'm glad you brought up the example of Schlumberger. They're an oil field services company. They are on our list of 24 companies. And because of the threat of divestment, we've actually opened a dialogue with them and are hoping that soon that company will no longer be a target for divestment because they will change company behavior in Sudan.
Sure. We're showing right now mutual fund holders of these various companies, Petronas, PetroChina. These are some of the other companies that are invested in Sudan. What sort of success have you had in terms of getting these companies to consider pulling out?
Yeah, well, our goal here, again, is not to stop the oil industry in Sudan. Our goal here is to get companies to do the right thing. This is a stiff moral challenge that confronts all of us, our government, the individuals in this country, and certainly the companies. And so we've had some success already. In ABB and Siemens have suspended operations in Sudan. And recently Rolls-Royce, which was in a similar position to Schlumberger, being an oil field service provider, they've announced that they're suspending operations. So we are trying to use divestment as a strategy to compel the government of Sudan to back down, to disarm militia, to allow in a UN peacekeeping mission.
Right. I'm sure this is a story we'll continue to track. Sam, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, just ahead on